Scott, you've been touring the world evangelizing on the power of data. Can you recall a recurring theme, something that would pop up with every scenario and with every audience, Master Data?
It's what I find so compelling about this space, and what I find so wonderful is that the problems, the challenges, the themes, the hurdles, the issues, the vision, the passion are more the same than they are different across organizations. So every organization, if you were an enterprise, and so you define your company as an enterprise, and by that, I mean you have enterprise systems, you've got a certain kind of organizational structure. You're not two guys in a garage with a spreadsheet figuring out the 12 people they sell to. You are an enterprise. And if you're an enterprise, you have enterprise data challenges. And those come from multiple silos. They create disparate data sources that lack internal standards. And so the ability to integrate data, the ability to drive interoperability, the ability to have good evaluation process, BI, AI, whatever you want to call it, all of that stems from the core data that you've created, which is this master data. So the challenges I find, multiple silos, lack of internal standards, they are ubiquitous across enterprises.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, of course, we've all been following your stories and your journey as the data whisperer. Now, I read a little bit about your background, of course. Can you tell us a little bit about where the passion for data comes from, and how did the data whisperer come to be?
Well, I think I got that's a great question because they go all the way back. I mean, my first job in the data business, I knew nothing about it. And I was representing what ended up being a master file of locations. And we were selling them to consumer goods manufacturers in the US, and began to realize from the customers what they were doing with this data was very unique. It was not why we were selling it to them. They were finding new ways to use this structured information to integrate more data sources, to cut across silos, to communicate efficiently with their partners, all the kinds of stuff that master data is all about. And it was actually before MDM was even coined as a term. So I saw people using this data. I learned from my customers. I saw how what they were doing was applicable in other areas. And when you see the delight people have in your customer, when you see that kind of excitement they have about the power of what you can provide to them, you're hooked. I mean, I never looked back. So seeing that these companies were really depending on the service we provided them in terms of master data content, wasn't MDM as a software, it was the content, which is the result of the process. And seeing how it really helped them get over some very basic challenges, just lit the light bulb in my head around, wow, this is an exciting part of the business. And looked around and didn't see a lot of people really that passionate about it the way I was. You can find them, but you can find plenty of people who are super excited about analytics, but not that many people who are excited about the data management side. And so for me, I felt there was space to kind of bring a new sort of voice to that community. They are the practitioners. They understand it. They do it all day long. But there's a certain amount of frustration in that part of the market as well from people who've been doing this forever and realize, my company still doesn't understand. So I took my skills as a storyteller, as a content creator, and really focused them around building all this editorial content around the strategic value of proper data management. And since I focused just on that in the last 6 months or so, I've been having a ball. So as you know, traveling the world, coming back to Berlin, speaking to all different kinds of companies and all different kinds of verticals, and just seeing the light in their eyes when they realize, okay, somebody else gets this. They understand our pain. They want to help us get through it. And if you love to respond to people, which I do, then it's hard to not respond and give back to that community and help share with them my techniques on how to put that data to work, which, as you know, is my favorite slogan now. So that's kind of where I'm going and what I've been doing with the space.